happy to all have you here. Happy Monday. It's going to be a great show. We got a lot to talk about as always. And of course, we're going to be talking about that strike update because there's not a deal yet, and maybe it'll come soon, but there's other things happening, everybody. As always, there's a lot of breaking news. All right, everybody, the very first thing that I want to talk about is The Bear, because The Bear was renewed at FX. You've been watching this, excited about before. The third season is coming to FX. And it was something that I expected. Everybody expected this too. It's been doing so well, nominated for so many awards, acting, writing, across the board. FX has a huge hit, excellent show. I know Sabrina loves it too. I've watched a little bit, not a lot. They haven't said how many episodes the third season's going to be, but it'll probably be 10 because the first two were 10. But it's coming back. People be stoked if they love The Bear. And it's something that's coming back but might be done is Curb Your Enthusiasm. It might be done. But apparently they have this conversation every time they do a season. So sometimes they have, like, I think between seasons 8 and 9, they have like 6 years in between because Larry David just goes out there and puts every idea he has on the paper at that time. And then he does the season. And once it's done, he's out of ideas. And him and HBO have a whole open door relationship. They actually said, we generally leave it up to Larry. If he thinks he wants to do more, we're going to do more. It's always an open invitation. And, you know, there was a rumor going around. I guess there was a tweet out there saying they were going to be done after season 12. But apparently that's just false. Don't believe that. It's up to Larry. There might be more, but this could be its last season. But it's always could be its last season. I guess they talk about it. It's a big joke. It's a big joke with the crew. They say, if you work on Curb Your Enthusiasm, you might be working on the last season. So it's an all open thing. I think it's hilarious. But
4 years, they'll come back season 13. It'll be fine.
They could do that too. They could come right back. But somebody that's not taking their time coming back. What?
Open invitation, they said.
Open invitation. But someone that doesn't, well, they have an open invitation, but they're not taking their time, is House of the Dragon, because House of the Dragon is coming back this summer. Early this summer, you get the second season of the Game of Thrones spinoff. And because they shot during the strikes. That's why they shot all summer. And you might ask yourself, how is this possible? Well, they actually had different contracts. They weren't under normal SAG-AFTRA contracts. They were under equity contracts in Britain. So most of the actors were under there, so they're able to keep shooting, and they avoided. They said all the scripts are written, so they shot everything for season 2. They got in the can. They're ready for it to come out early summer. And people are probably excited about it because that's some new content coming. I still think that it was wrong they were shooting because, you know, these actors love them are in SAG anyways. But you know, it is what it is. It battled through. It's like the variety contracts too, so there's a loophole. They shot it. It's done. It's coming. That's a snafu if you ask me, but snafu is coming back. The Ed Helms project. And this is something I never heard about before, but it's his podcast by iHeartRadio. And they did one whole season, and it's based off history. It did great. Over 1 million downloads. It won a couple awards, a gold award for the best historic podcast, a silver award for best writing, both in the category of limited series and specials. And the first season actually covered, well, he also hosts, he's executive producer of it. So it's done really well for him. But the first season actually was about Able Archer 83, the NATO military exercise that almost caused a nuclear war in November of 1983. And the second season is going to be actually taking place about the Book of Burglary. And this is a whole story about burglary that was revealed at J. Edgar Hoover's secret FBI agency. They got apparently 8 guys busted in there. They got all this information. They stole secret documents, evaded capture, and uncovered the Bureau's most explosive and damaging secrets. And they put it all out there in blast. And Ed Helms is going through the whole story, bringing all 8 guys in for the second season. They're all still alive to talk about this. And he's like, it's just a good time for him. He loves history. They're doing season 2, and they're going to do season 3. So if you like this, yeah, Edward. Wow. Yeah. If you like this, it's coming. More snafu for you. And that's something great, but something that might scare you a little bit that maybe you also are upset about is the Welcome to Derry coming, because the It spinoff has been delayed. And if you knew about this, didn't know about this, they're doing a spinoff. And Andy Muschietti did The Flash. Him and his wife Barbara have done this series. They wrote the thing. They've been directing it, putting it together. They expected to come out of Halloween of 24, but because of the strikes, because of the shutdowns, it's been pushed a year. They're hoping to get it out sometime in 2025. They haven't said exactly when. Of course, it's going to be on Max. And it's a whole new chapter, but it's actually going to be expanding on the whole It storyline between the chapters 1 and 2 of the movies. So if you like this before, not familiar with Snafu Queen says, yeah, I wasn't either, but it sounds pretty good. And Helms is great. But if you like, if you liked it, you might like this spinoff. I saw the trailer. It's out there right now. It looks all right. It's none of the original cast is coming back for this, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Hopefully it's good. But, it's also one of those things that, might scare people because it's, it's a scary movie they're doing onto a TV show. That's all I'm saying. But something else that's just kind of upsetting to me that I keep hearing about over and over again is sexual assault. And now there's more against Steven Tyler. So apparently, allegedly, there is a girl when she was 17 years old. She claimed that she was sexually assaulted by Steven Tyler. Now, this has been years ago. This is back in the summer of 1975. This apparently went down, she was saying. And she was a model with their friend, went to Manhattan. Her friend was supposed to get her to meet Aerosmith there. They apparently got together. We're going for a walk down 6th Avenue. And she said she told him something that just upset him, and that caused him to throw her into a phone booth and then apparently start groping her breasts, her buttocks, her genitals, moving up and down her clothing, rubbing himself against her, and trying to hump on her. And then she said she grabbed his hair and she kicked him, and then she got free and ran, and apparently she went to some hotel and he came in there too and got on her again apparently and was trying to hump on her again. And then after that, apparently some door guy grabbed her, threw in a taxi in her driveway. So now she's suing him after all this time. Of course, the statute of limitations opened up in New York, so that's probably why this is going down. But she said that she's suing him for an amount that will fully and fairly compensate her for injuries and damages she allegedly suffered. And she's also seeking a jury trial over all this. And this sexual assault stuff is coming forward more and more, just like Russell Brand. Another person came forward for Russell Brand, saying that on the set of Arthur. Now, there were a lot of girls, like 4 that came forward from 2006, 2013. They said they were sexually assaulted from him not too long ago, a couple months ago. Well, this girl came forward now. She gave more details, and she said that she was working as an extra on the set of Arthur, and apparently he flashed himself naked to her in front of some of the crew members, some of the cast. She apparently ran away, went to a bathroom. He came to the bathroom, and then she said a crew member actually locked her in there with him. He sexually assaulted her, and she couldn't get out until he was, done. And then she said, she couldn't say anything at the time because she was, let alone if you're a PA or a cast member, but she was background, and she said, no one's going to believe me. They'd probably fire me if I'd say anything. She told her sister apparently after the fact, and now she finally came forward because all these allegations are coming forward, and she said she wants to get her power back. So again, yeah, good for her. I mean, but this is what's been happening. This has happened to Russell Brand a lot, and we're going to see what these allegations, how they play out. But it's just sad to hear these things happening. I feel like every day I feel like there's more sexual assault stuff happening. But I'd rather hear more about Christmas. And Kelly Clarkson is doing Christmas special, everybody. Katy Perry. Kelly Clarkson. What am I saying? Kelly Clarkson. My mind. I'm thinking about Russell Brand. Thinking about it's all meshing together. But Katy Perry is not doing it. Kelly Clarkson is doing her Christmas in Rockefeller Center for NBC special. She's been there for 20 years. A lot of breaking news happening, everybody.